Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam hold a year-end aid distribution in Binh Duong Province. Tzu Chings in the Philippines visit a mental health center to bring laughter and joy to the residents. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. As the winter has been fierce, even in the sunny Southern California of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers have joined hands with the national project Homeless Connection in Pomona to distribute winter supplies to the homeless. Recently, the volunteers provided winter clothing, a free clinic, and a free haircut service at a shelter in Pomona to ensure the local homeless can get through these cold days.
We appreciate everything y'all give for us is golden. We love you.
Tzu Chi volunteers' timely assistance deeply moved the homeless people. The volunteers hand out jackets, scarves, blankets, and undergarments to help the homeless keep warm. Their respectful manner touches the heart of the recipients.
I'm very grateful that there's people that care in this world, and I'm very grateful for the Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation.
You just recycle about 70 plastic bottle, then you can make it one blanket. If you have a chance, see in the street, pick up, then you can go to the recycle station.
The volunteers also seized the occasion to promote environmental protection. In addition, volunteers also provide free clinic, free haircuts, free photo opportunities, and delicious meals at the event, warming the bodies and hearts of those without homes. Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam are also helping those in need, as they recently held an aid distribution for care recipients, which include solitary seniors and the disabled. To prepare for the distribution, the volunteers had to assemble early in the morning and took a bus to reach the distribution venue. Let's take a look at how successful the event was in Binh Duong Province. Early in the morning, 56 Tzu Chi volunteers in Binh Duong take a bus to the distribution site. Then they prepare the supplies to be given out to 513 recipients. I'm very happy to serve tea to everyone today. For the elderly, it's not easy to come to the distribution.
Đi xe đạp hả? Bây giờ ngày quá phải đi dậy chứ. Chợ tàu cao ăn khâu mệt không? Đi xe đạp mệt hả? Chạy nước tao tới Ủy ban không có nắng quá chạy về xe với mẹ nó ra không làm xíu nữa đi.
Con tôi nó bán đáng nó bán.
I have no house now because my children have sold it. I heard about Tzu Chi's distribution here. Everyone here cares about me, so it's heartwarming.
Tôi có cảm tưởng rồi.
Phát huy hơn nữa.
I hope Tzu Chi can help more people in need so that they'll have the opportunity to improve living conditions.
When giving out supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers bow respectfully to the recipients. Some of the seniors stumble, so the volunteers quickly come to support them.
Có bệnh tật ở nhà có ai chăm sóc? Cũng có mấy đứa nhỏ và 7 đứa. Bệnh đuôi có thấy được không? Không thấy bệnh này.
Among the recipients is a solitary senior whose 7 children are not by his side. There is also a disabled man who will need the care of his father for the rest of his life. Year-end celebrations for Tzu Chi volunteers not only include meeting up with care recipients at aid distributions, but also reunion banquets like the one Tzu Chi volunteers in Keelung, Taiwan held for their care recipients. On the day of a recent distribution event for 490 care recipient families, the temperature outside was only 6 degrees Celsius, but the aid recipients still braved the cold to enjoy a variety of activities, including a free clinic, free haircuts, and games.
Now you have won. You can catch fish. Tzu Chi Keelung office is full of excitement today, as the volunteers have assigned many activities for care recipients and their families. There are professional hairdressers to give free haircuts and doctors to examine the health of the participants. Whether they are on or off the stage, the 8 recipients are one family today, including 88-year-old Mr. Song, who came from China alone.
In my life, I've never met anyone who is as friendly as you guys. I'm not educated, so I'm not a good speaker. I can only say thank you.
He is so grateful because Tzu Chi volunteers are very attentive. They hope everyone can have enough to eat and wear in order to stay warm in the freezing winter. The volunteers greeted everyone warmly when they first came. The volunteers pick up those who live far away and people with mobility problems. More and more people have come to help prepare for the winter distribution. Even 8 recipients have also come to help. Ah Chang, who injured his foot 2 years ago, is still being treated. He has listened to the advice of Tzu Chi volunteers.
After I quit chewing betel nuts, my teeth will feel itchy sometimes. So I chew bubble gum.
Because of a bone spur, Ah Zhi can't use his left hand and left leg freely.
你看，左手已经没办法伸直了，就只能保持这样。右手还可以，
对啊，今天这么冷，真的是很不容易。
不会啊，这没什么，尽我自己能力，这也是回馈照顾户的感恩户的那个回馈就对了。
At the gathering, Tzu Chi volunteers also prepare 12 items in every gift bag for the care recipients to wish them a happy new year.
At the end of the year, Master Zhenyan is always concerned about helping care recipients safely get through the winter months. Tzu Chi volunteers from Fujian, China, recently held year-end banquets in Zhangzhou and Nanjing, inviting care recipients and scholarship students for the year-end feast. With hearts of compassion, these volunteers hope to drive away the cold and warm the hearts of those in their care. Here's more in our report.
Volunteers here in Nanjing are making arrangements for the year-end banquet with the utmost care. Using recycled bottles to arrange the Tzu Chi logo, the volunteers are practicing thrift and avoiding excess spending for the event. This incredible vegetarian meal, prepared by the kitchen volunteers, is the result of a long day's work that began early this morning.
I hope that as they join us here in the Tzu Chi family, they'll really feel right at home. We want to give them a good meal and see them all happy.
As care recipients and scholarship students begin to arrive at the liaison office in Nanjing, the warmth of seeing friends quickly warms the chill in the air. Meet Ke Zai-xia, who was once paralyzed in bed and contemplated suicide. Through Tzu Chi's love and care, she was able to start life anew again.
While collecting recyclables, no one pays attention to me or greets me, but I always remind myself that recycling is good for my health and recycling keeps the worry away. Over time, my health just got better and better. I'm really so thankful.
At the liaison office in Jiangzhou, 84 care recipients are enjoying the banquet together.
I think it's so warm and friendly here. It's just like everyone's family. This atmosphere is really nice and harmonious.
It's just so warm here. The food is nice and hot, and our hearts have also been warmed.
I really like it. Coming here feels just like going home. Everyone is happy to be together.
Volunteers write spring couplets and bond with participants. Meanwhile, haircuts and free health checks are offered along with a gift of some daily necessities prepared for the occasion. Sharing familial warmth to stave off the cold weather, Tzu Chi wishes everyone a happy Lunar New Year.
We begin the second segment of this program with a look back at Tzu Chi's history. The people in the landlocked province of Gansu in China have long struggled with water scarcity. Tzu Chi first built water cisterns for the residents in 1998. Later, Tzu Chi volunteers built DaAi villages and a school in Jingyuan County to relocate the residents from the mountains to a place with water resources. 18 years later in southern Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers also reached out to the residents in Zimbabwe and helped them deal with a similar water shortage problem. Let's take a look.
Fetching water has become this family's important mission.
Yes.
Walking for half an hour to fetch water is a common scene in Zimbabwe, Africa. The rainfall there is less than 1/4 of that in Taiwan. With lack of infrastructures, most residents have to fetch water. Those who are well off can drill wells near their homes.
When you asked me first time,
I spent $180 to drill a well, including all the material fees.
it was an overall of everything I did that.
On the dry land, residents sometimes consume dirty water. In 2008, cholera broke out in Zimbabwe, leading to the death of more than 2,000 people. In addition, there are political instability and inflation, making life harsh for residents.
And this one?
Local Tzu Chi volunteer Zhu Chings is a businessman from Taiwan. He often provides water purification tablets to residents and even helps dig wells for them.
There are not many industries in Zimbabwe, so they should have plenty underground water. But they lack the equipment, so I help them.
Water is essential, especially clean water. Tzu Chi volunteers have drilled 20 wells in the capital, Harare, to save the residents time in fetching water. In fact, Tzu Chi has provided similar assistance in Gansu province of China 18 years ago. This Chinese proverb describes how Gansu province faces the problem of water shortage. The average annual rainfall in Gansu is about 200 millimeters, but its evaporation is 7.5 times than the amount of rainfall. In Gansu province, residents try to make a living in the mountain areas despite a water shortage problem. Unfortunately, because of climate change, drought problem worsened after 1980s, leading to poor yields. Many people have left the mountain areas. Those without the means to do so stayed behind, hoping for a miracle to happen. To help solve the water shortage problem, Tzu Chi initiated a project to build water cisterns in Gansu from 1998. Up to now, Tzu Chi volunteers have built 19,060 water cisterns in 17 townships in 6 counties.
With water cisterns, the residents no longer have to fetch water every day, and they can go out to make a living.
However, water systems cannot function without water sources. Therefore, in March of 2008, the residents started moving out of the dry mountain areas to new locations that are more than 100 kilometers away.
They moved to a place with water, somewhere better. They left their homes. In fact, people have stopped destroying the environment, so it is able to recuperate naturally.
Tzu Chi volunteers then built DaAi villages and an elementary school in Liuchuan and Wuhe townships of Jingyuan County. One Tzu Chi village resident, Wang Shouguang, once lived in a straw house and has moved into a concrete home. In addition, he was assigned a new field. With Tzu Chi's assistance, these people have started a new chapter of their lives with better living environment and a brighter future.
Most young people are eager for life experiences, hoping in time to get part-time work or study abroad. But for some Tzu Chings in the Philippines, under Tzu Chi volunteers' guidance, they have chosen to spread some cheer to residents at the National Center for Mental Health in Mandaluyong City of the Metro Manila area. These Tzu Chings have come to learn life lessons that can't be taught in school. Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings have come to visit those suffering from mental illnesses at the National Center for Mental Health in Mandaluyong City.
We are sharing them the aphorisms, the Chings aphorisms, tell them stories and singing songs, and all of these are ways and means to pacify them.
These Tzu Chings take the initiative and interact with the patients, offering sincerity and understanding. Sharing some simple company in a warm, friendly atmosphere is the main objective.
Dito, makikita natin na
we found that most of the patients have been abandoned by their parents or by their children. We really should learn how to love one another and help them towards the day when they can share their love with others.
Sa ating mga kapwa para maipasa din nila ito sa ibang mga tao.
Understanding life experiences and experiencing life as they grow, these Tzu Chings are helping to put on a fresh coat of paint on these old walls. By sharing a little loving kindness, they also hope to offer a breath of fresh air to the patients here today. Staying in the Philippines, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter recently presented 566 students of Pintong Bukawi Elementary School in San Mateo, Rizal with new pairs of shoes. Most students of this school come from impoverished households, which makes it difficult for them to receive a proper education, let alone a luxurious item such as shoes. After receiving the shoes, the children were delighted to discuss how they would make use of their new gift.
If one looks closely at these elementary students, one can see most of them are wearing slippers.
Most of the students wear slippers to class. Many of the slippers are already falling apart. Only a few students have shoes for school. Many poor students live in remote areas or near rivers, which makes it difficult to buy shoes.
Coming and going to class without public transportation, many students must walk nearly an hour and a half each way. Some sixth-year students are still wearing shoes from their first year.
I really want to see her finish school. She says she wants to graduate. But in our financial situation, I really worry about whether we can support her.
The need for these children to receive an education is far more important than a pair of shoes.
I'm really happy because even if I never graduate, at least my parents don't need to spend money on me.
With the shoes donated by the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter, the students will have more confidence to pursue their studies.
On the day I graduate, I'll wear these shoes. Or someday, maybe I'll wear them to represent my school in a competition.
With every step these children take, these shoes will protect the children's feet with the love of Tzu Chi volunteers. With every step these shoes make, the encouragement of Tzu Chi will propel these students towards a brighter future.
Moving our focus back to China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Changsha recently held their first year-end blessing ceremony on their own, as they have always had help in the past. In total, 3 sessions of the year-end blessing ceremony were held, which attracted 1,200 residents. During the ceremonies, the volunteers' performance helped many in the audience gain wisdom and enlightenment.
The Dharma ship sails forth. lotus come from mud. These performances and the special effects on the stage are part of the sutra adaptation by Tzu Chi volunteers for the 3-year-end blessing ceremonies attended by 1,200 people.
The blessing and wisdom red envelopes can bring pure wisdom to people. We pray for the world to have abundant harvest and favorable weather.
At the ceremonies, the participants also seize the occasion to pray for the world with compassion and love.
Tzu Chi's year-end celebrations are happening all over the globe. Next, we head to Mozambique as over 2,300 residents join the celebration held by local Tzu Chi volunteers. Though rain appeared at the event unexpectedly, everyone in the audience happily welcomed the unexpected participant as the area had been experiencing a drought lately. The ceremony ended just as other Tzu Chi year-end celebrations do, with participants receiving red envelopes of blessing and wisdom. Here's more. In African countries, malaria is still a deadly infection. However, many locals have the wrong idea on how to prevent being bit by mosquitoes. So youngsters put on a skit to demonstrate the wrong ways and the right ways. During the celebration, Mozambique Tzu Chings performed for the audience. Though not professional, the students nevertheless put their heart into the activity. As the country has been experiencing a drought lately, the rain that normally would have disrupted the day was instead a much welcomed gift for the 2,302 people present. Following along to the sign language song We Are One Family, volunteers from Mozambique have slowly adopted Tzu Chi's mannerisms and etiquettes. A smile is beautiful, respect is beautiful, voices are also beautiful. Only with love can seeds of compassion really bloom. Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore hold an annual charity fundraiser prior to the Lunar New Year by selling vegetarian snacks and various other items. This year, the 2-day event, which drew over 10,000 visitors to the venue, was also filled with plenty of elements of environmental conservation, such as reusable utensils and shopping bags. We will leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Have a happy Monday.